Hello and welcome world, this is Entrepreneur Wilderness Radio Show and your host today is Oyeno Alubala and my guest is June Caravel and she is a singer, songwriter, or entrepreneur and also a screenwriter. She has a vast experience in terms of exploring what it is to do with your own self, and she has a story to tell you today that will just simply blow your mind. If you're bored of life, you need to do what she's doing because it will excite you and it will make you change indefinitely. So June Caravel, welcome to the show. So tell me the story. Tell me what you did last year.
So I had this idea in 2012 that I would go to Australia and actually busk my way around Australia. So I just had the money to pay the tickets to there and the return tickets, and I had no money there to pay anything. So I just busked 1 hour in my life before I went, and I made £3, but that didn't deter me to actually go there and decide that I would only live off what the busking would bring me.
So basically, you left Paris to Australia with no money.
With no money.
Okay, carry on. Yeah.
And I prayed on my good star that I would succeed in my enterprise. and furthermore, it was not the only crazy situation. I wanted to film it, and I wanted to make a documentary out of it. So I was supposed to go with a friend who wanted to go on an adventure with me, and we wanted to film each other. But at the last minute, she said, "No, I can't do it because I got festivals coming up, and I can't say no to these festivals because they're going to bring up my profile," which I could completely understand. But so I was left with no one to film. And then my cousin was about to go on a world tour, and she said to me, "Well, you should leave a message on this travelers forum. There are always people who are looking for people to travel with them, and I'm sure you're going to find someone, even though it's inexperienced, but who you could train to actually hold the camera and film you." And I said, okay, I'm going to do that, and I posted a message on a forum, a travelers forum, or several of them, and then this girl entered me called Moya. She was only 18, and her parents let her go with me, which I find completely crazy.
So let me stop you there. So basically, you went into a forum and you got a total stranger to basically film you whilst you were in Australia.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I was 31 at the time, and she was 18. Now she's 19 and I'm 22. But I mean, it was pretty crazy because I was going on a total adventure, and I was there with a stranger, and we met at the airport when I arrived, basically. And we started this adventure together, and we survived both on the money I made.
So wait a minute. So it wasn't even only you; it was the young lady as well.
Yeah.
Wow. So you had to basically make sure that when you were busking, that the both of you were being fed at the same time.
Yeah, which would put extra
pressure.
On my shoulders actually to manage to get some money. But the funny thing was, she comes from an island of Australia, which is French, and so she could speak French with me, and it's called New Caledonia.
Okay.
And because this island is not so far away from Australia, she always knew someone. Whenever we were in a new city, she always knew someone, and thanks to her, sometimes we like the first day of busking. She met a guy the night before, and he invited us to have dinner, and I only had $3 in my pocket. So without him and without the encounter that she did the night before, we wouldn't have eaten that night, or we would have eaten bread or something not so nice as I don't know. It was Italian food, and we had drinks along and everything, and everything cost so much money in Australia that really it was really welcome on the first night.
Wow. So take
85 the first day.
really whoa. So take me through the first what. So the first day, how was it? What was it like? I mean, just take me through it.
The first day I arrived on a Saturday, so I actually cheated a little bit because it was a weekend and you couldn't get a busking license because everything is very organized in Australia. You need to get a busking license, otherwise you're outlawed. So I couldn't get one before Monday because that's when the administration and the city council is open. So I actually had a little bit of money for the first 2 days. And it was also important that I could see the city and get around so that I could see a little bit where the pitches were before I started. So that's what we did on the Sunday. And what happened is that, I don't know if you know about the website couchsurfing.org.
Not really. Yeah, go take me through it.
I can explain for you.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
So what it is it's a website where you have hosts who actually put their couch on offer if you want, so that travelers from the whole wide world can come and sleep on the couch. Sometimes it's not even a couch; it can be a room, it can be a spare room that people have, and you have a real bed. But it can be a couch as well. And before I went, I didn't want to sleep in the street, and I didn't know how much money I would make at all. So I arranged to have like the first 2 weeks organized so that we had someone to sleep at, and so I went onto this website. I contacted many people in Sydney, and this DJ actually said, yeah, that would be awesome to have you girls, no problem, you can come with your camera operator. I mean, there's only one couch and a little spare room with a single bed, but that's absolutely fine, you can come, no problem. And he was so trustful of us that he actually left the key under the mat for us because he wasn't there. He was at a restaurant with his friends at the time when we arrived. And I was just gobsmacked that people would do that in Australia. I don't know if they would do that in any other part of the world.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just crazy. And we arrived in this incredible place where so many, a collection of vinyls from I don't know how many years, plus an organ, plus I don't know. I mean, it was an incredible place to be. And when he arrived afterwards, it was like so welcoming, making us listen to his vinyls, teaching Moya how to scratch and everything. And
Scratch it.
was really incredible, and so we felt very welcome from the onset. And I knew that even though I wouldn't make a lot of money during the first days because I didn't know anything about busking when I arrived. I mean, I had busked maybe 1 hour and 15 minutes in total before I went to Australia, and I hadn't made a lot of money. So,
wait a minute, let me rewind. I just assumed because I watched the video. I just thought you were a busker.
I'm not a busker.
You're not a busker at all.
I was a busker when I arrived there.
Oh dear. So you arrive in a different country that you know nothing about, and you are not even a busker.
I'm not even a busker, no. But
Wow.
I've been a singer for a long time. I started really singing in 2000. So I thought that being a little bit weird with my loop pedal, because I play on a loop pedal. For people who don't know what it is, it's like a new instrument, completely electronical, that loops your voice. So you build layers, and you can build a song from scratch with it. And yeah, if you listen to my latest album, the a cappella sessions, it's all a cappella. It's just my voice doing all these layers, and that was the principle of it. And I thought, well, what could be a better way to promote it than going into the street and actually doing as many gigs as possible and seeing the dollars come into my hand.
I mean, to be honest, if a lot of artists took your approach, and you know, especially I'm here in the UK, London. Let's say they just went out and busked in London alone. I mean, that should get a following. That should get a crowd because people would hear their voice. Because that's eventually what people will hear is your voice.
Well, the reason I went is I actually met a busker before I
Mm.
went to Australia in London, and he wanted to do he was looking for different singers. He was a guitarist, and he
Yeah.
wanted to build up a repertoire and of different songs, different cover songs that he knew would be successful, and go and busk in Richmond because he thought that that's a rich side of London that people would.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't end up working together because I think he had enough singers and I didn't have much time for that at the time.
Mm.
But he actually told me how much he was making, and I think he said, "Well, if it's a bad day, we're doing maybe 40 pounds, which I thought was already for just 2 hours of playing.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
and if it's a good day, then it can go up to 150, 200. And he started talking to me about the tactics that he was using. So, for example, he was asking the restaurants who had a terrace if he could go and play, and the restaurants were actually really happy because it would encourage people to stay and drink more.
Mm. Mm.
And so I thought they would be actually deterred to stay, but it was the contrary. The restaurant owners were quite happy about it. But then it wasn't amplified like me. So when you're amplified, it might be a different story. But anyway, I had this friend telling me about that, and then when I went back to Paris, I met another guy who had actually busked in Australia. And he told me, well, I just set up my stuff, and I was at what he did, he put himself at the corner where people have to cross the streets. And so he had like maybe 1 minute to charm them before they had to cross the street. And he was outside of the supermarket entrance so that people would actually see him when they went in, and then when they went out, maybe they would give something before they crossed the street. And that was a pretty good actually advice that he gave me to do that because it really works. The moment I started to do that,
Yeah.
that's when money started to flow.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, because normally when I see buskers, I mean, you don't see any of that. You just think, okay, I'll just drop some money and that's that. But I mean, I didn't quite know that there was actually techniques that you had to deploy. That's quite interesting. That's quite interesting.
There are so many techniques. I mean, I'm not even. I mean, I still don't consider myself a professional busker. But since you're in London, I'm going to give you the name of a professional busker. His artist name is what's his name already? The Chainsaw Juggler with Great Ass. And you can meet him in Covent Garden.
Covent
He does
Garden.
that for a living.
Yeah.
And is actually responsible of the Covent Garden Association, which regulates the buskers in Covent Garden. You have to do an audition to be a busker there.
Okay.
And they don't have much musicians. They have more acrobats and magicians.
I think I've been down. Yeah, I think I've been down there, and yeah, they have a lot of like you said, acrobats and there's different kind of shows and stuff. But yeah, it's really good. It's not too bad. It's really good. It's really good.
And it's really good. And these guys, actually, I mean him particularly. So he's a chainsaw juggler, which is in itself a little bit dangerous and a little bit extraordinary because you don't cross them very often.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You have different styles of buskers. So I'm a passing by act because people, but they won't stay very long normally because it's music, and all musicians normally are passing by acts. But you've got circle acts. So when you see these people who draw a crowd around them, a circle, that's why they're called circle acts. That's when they're juggling or they're doing something extraordinary.
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
build
yeah.
up so that people at the end give them money.
That's right.
This
Okay.
literally, if they're good in the trade, they just need to do one